Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Lisa. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about everything you need to know to come to the UK as a healthcare assistant. I'm going to be talking about the cost, I'm going to be talking about visa requirements, I'm going to talk about how to find employers and every single thing that you need to know about healthcare assistant. Many of you have been asking me about various things, and I've been driving you to different videos that I've done. But I thought to do one video for you so that everything is nice and clear for you. After this video, you will be equipped. You will know everything there is to know about healthcare assistant jobs. If you are ready and you're excited as I am, hit that like button, subscribe, comment. I love to see your comments. Tell me where you're watching from. And without wasting any time, let's get right into the video. Right, allow me to just adjust my camera a little bit so I can share my screen with you. Right, so like I said, I'm going to be sharing with you everything there is to know about healthcare assistant job. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is there are two different types of healthcare assistant jobs. The first job is a senior healthcare assistant, and usually with this, it comes with more responsibilities compared to the healthcare assistant job. If you're going for a senior healthcare assistant job, usually employers want you to have at least 1 year experience, 2 years experience, 3 years experience. And usually you get this job with 3 years visa attached to it. Healthcare assistant job, this is where you can also get a healthcare assistant job with less experience. So you are less experienced than as a healthcare assistant. And this usually comes with a 1 year visa. But both of these visas can be renewed, and they can lead to settlement. By settlement, I mean indefinite leave to remain in the UK. What are the different advantages of having both? I would say having a senior care assistant means that you're paying more in one go. Having a healthcare assistant role means that you're paying less, but it also gives you the flexibility in the event that you've got the job, you don't like the job, you really don't like it. Within a year, it means that you can change your employer and you can change perhaps the job that you're doing. So it's both of them are good depending on where you are. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is the different work options that you can get. So whether you're a senior healthcare assistant or your healthcare assistant, both of you can end up working in the different elements that I'm going to talk about. The first one, you can work as a support worker. So a support worker is usually there to support. You're perhaps supporting people who can do everything for themselves, but they just need a little bit of support. So it might be that you can support people. Your job title will be a support worker. You're supporting people in their homes. You might be going in their homes and staying with them overnight or spending the day with them and taking them out for whatever shopping or anything they want. Or you might get this job title in a mental hospital. Another type of work that you can get is a domiciliary worker. Domiciliary worker is someone who goes door to door to people's houses and helping them. It might be that you spend 15 minutes in the first house helping someone make breakfast. Or it might be that the next house you're going to wake somebody up because they're unable to wake themselves up. Or it might be the next person you're going to see them because they just need a bit of company, or people just need to know that someone has been there, they're okay. Or you might be going to see someone who can't take medication on their own, they need someone to give them medication. The next one is a live-in carer. It's where you go to somebody's house and you stay with them for a period of time. Depending with your company, these can be rotated, but most of the time they're probably not. So it's dependent on the company that you're working for. So, like I said, it's more like a permanent situation where you literally go and stay with that person in their house, and you live with them and you're there for them 24/7. This is where the money is. This is where you get paid more, obviously, because you're there 24/7. Um, Another one is care assistant. So you can be a care assistant in a nursing home or in a residential home. So a care assistant, you're going in a home where usually the elderly people who need help with toileting, bathing, eating, a wide range of things. Or you might be a care assistant in a hospital where you're helping people that are sick, or you're helping the elderly, or you're helping just the normal things that we know that happens in the hospital. It might be that you're helping with breakfast, you're cleaning someone, you're washing them. It might be that you're helping them go to the toilet. It might be that you're changing pads. So the list really does go on, as we know, the things that happen in the hospital. So those are the options that you get as a senior healthcare assistant or as a healthcare assistant. I am doing another video specifically so I can talk about the advantages and disadvantages for each of these. And everything depends on your situation. So I want to talk about visa requirements. Hopefully you can see this nicely. So I want to talk about visa requirements. It's not plain ball, but hopefully that should be okay. So the first thing that you need to get a visa is you need to have passed, you need to show that you can read, write, and listen and what's the other one? Listen and speak. Yes, that's it. I always get confused. So it's 4 elements. You need to show that you can read, write, listen, and speak English to at least level B, level B1. So if you haven't got any degree, you're expected to take an English test. There are 4 different bodies. I'm not going to go into detail in all of them, but the most popular one is IELTS, which if you go on IELTS website, I'm going to share the link in the description box. It usually costs around 338 US dollars. This, you can convert this to your currency if you don't use US dollars. Another one that you could do is with a company called PSI. PSI is another really good one. Once you can do a test with them as well, and it costs around $280. So you need to do one of the two. You don't need to do both of them. Most people generally go for IELTS. I'll just type that so that it's clear for you. Most people generally go for IELTS because some employers want to see IELTS, but some employers know that for you to come into the UK, for you to get a visa, you need to have shown some English tests. So some employers are okay, but IELTS seems to be the most popular one. What you can do if you have a degree, you can go to ECTIS. So ECTIS is a body that's trusted by the government, by the UK government, to check whether your degree was done to a standard that they're looking for in order for you to pass the English requirement. And this usually costs around 140 pounds plus VAT. So it's up to you. You can weigh out what's best, whether you do a test or you do the ECTIS, or you go the ECTIS way. I'll put links in the description box. The third thing that you need to get a visa is a TB test. So majority of African countries, majority of Asian countries are on the list to get TB. You need to have a certificate that shows that you're TB clear, right? I've got a video on this that you can refer to in terms of more details, but you don't get this certificate from anybody. There are specific places where you can get a TB test. So that's the number 3. Number 4, you need to have your valid passport. You need to have, if you don't have a passport, just have any documents that show your identity and your nationality. So this could be a traveling document if you don't have a passport. So the bottom bit that I'm going to talk about is the actual job. You need to have secured a job before you apply for a visa. So you need to have found a job that pays you 20,480, the very minimum, or £10.10 at the minimum. So you need to have found that. And once you get your job, there's a job code. I'll show you where you can get a job code, and your employer can help you with this. Your employer is going to issue you with a certificate of sponsorship that you need when you apply for a visa. You also need a police clearance. This is just to show that you're not needed for any criminal offenses in your country or anywhere else. If you've lived in other places for more than 12 months, you need a police clearance for every single place that you've stayed for more than 12 months. Right, I'm going to move on to the employer because I knew you're probably wondering. So, what are employers looking for? The employers are looking for you to have experience. So if you haven't got experience, try and get experience in hospitals, in care homes, mental hospitals, learning disabilities, in schools. You know, going into a school, it shows that you're staying with you've helped people that are vulnerable. So that's a really good one. If you don't have any experience, try and get experience as soon as possible. I know in other countries, some people are using Red Cross, St. John's Ambulance for their training. All these trainings are really good because they're going to count as experience. But once you get these courses that you do, make sure you do the practical side. Make sure you actually go to a hospital to work. Make sure you go into a care home and get the experience, because that's what's going to count. Normally in the UK, this is not an issue, whether you're experienced or not, because everybody will be trained, whether you have experience or not, you will be trained. But because of the situation that we have, that everybody wants to come to the UK, the competition is high. So in order for you to stand out, you will need to have some experience, and that's really important. The next thing that I would recommend is complete some sort of UK courses. So in those courses, make sure that there's safeguarding, basic life support, food hygiene, GDPR, moving and handling, person-centered, infection control, and many more. But these are quite key that I've mentioned. So make sure wherever you go, make sure that where you get these UK courses, that they are CPD credited. So a really good place to look for these care certificates would be Indeed or Reed. They've got really, really good trainings that will fit the description that I've talked about. Florence Academy, it's actually free of charge. So I would recommend you go for that. Alison is also another one, which I think is really, really good for you to have. I think the cost is around 25 or 35 pounds for you to complete all the care courses that are on there. You will find many more on dementia, autism. All of those are really, really useful. So do them if you can. What I know about Alison is once you complete their courses, you can complete it and then pay later once once you have the money, which is really, really good. But you don't get issued the certificate. You get the certificate much later. You get the certificate when you've paid. So that's a really, really good one to go for. Why is it important you go through this? It's going to make you stand out when you have interviews. It's going to make you it's going to make it easier for you to answer interview questions, because you know what's involved in everything. So I would definitely recommend you go for that. Another thing that is quite key, if you're planning to go in the domiciliary route, domiciliary care, have a driver's license. Driver's license are really, really expensive in the UK. If you can have them in your country and it's much cheaper, do go for it. I think it's like £30 an hour to learn to drive in the UK, and I know that is expensive and not everybody can afford it. So if you can afford to, do have your driving license. That's important. That's going to make you stand out and get you to be picked over other people. because if you've got a driver's license, this job may involve some driving in it, even though it's not necessary, but it's going to be attractive for employers. Right. So where can you find employers? You can go on dwp.gov.uk. This is a really good website. You just need to make sure that you're putting care assistant and then putting with visa sponsorship, and all the jobs with visa sponsorship will come up. Indeed is another one using the same criteria. Jobs at nhs.uk, apps.track.jobs, www.carehomes.co.uk, www.healthcarejobsuk.com. These are really, really good websites for you to check out and actually keep your eye on. One advice that I can share with you on these: if you can set notifications, I know you can, do set notifications so that when you're asleep, there's a new job that's been posted that fits the criteria that you're looking for. You will get a notification in your sleep. So that puts you ahead of many people, right? Another one that I wanted to talk about was the cost of visa application. So if you're applying for one person, it costs around 464. If you're applying for 3 years, um, if you're staying up to 3 years, sorry about that. And if you're staying for more than 3 years, the fee would be 928 pounds if you're staying for more than 3 years. So this is in the case where you get a visa that requires you to stay for 5 years. So again, if you're applying for that 1 year visa, it will be in the 464 category. If you are applying for your family members, if they're not sponsored in if your employer is not sponsoring your family, you will need to do separate applications for them, and they will come under a family visa, which will be dependent on you and on your visa. So that's something that I can talk about later in my other videos. If you are interested, I do intend to talk about it, but if you are interested, do let me know and I can talk about it. This was also mentioned in my interview with the senior solicitor who was giving us advice in terms of the cost. So do check that video out. Lastly, these are all the links which I'm going to share with you in the description box. I think this is everything that I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been really, really nice. If you enjoy the content that I'm sharing, or if you have any videos that you'd like me to do, just send me a message, comment on this video, and I'll do my best to deliver it. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for watching. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video.